Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and tech and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Now, we did have a couple things go out this week, not too much craziness though, so let's get started with the bigger news, and that is all about the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. So all about the Pixel, basically what we are learning more and more is that we are getting slight differences from last year's. Now, Google I/O is upon us coming up in May, but that is not going to be the be-all and end-all. Google I/O is merely to announce the 7a and possibly the Pixel Fold, and definitely the release date for the Pixel tablet. That is what we were expecting at Google I/O. What we are not expecting until October, however, though, is the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. Now, last year at Google I/O, Google just kind of said F the leakers and just straight up showed images of these of the 7 and 7 Pro, probably what, 5 months before their release. So this could very well happen again, and Google gives us the exact way they'll look like, but this is already a pretty suspected thing that we are looking to get. So first and foremost, we do have the Pixel 8, which is actually getting smaller this time around, which is kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious for people to know, are they going to want smaller or not? And that's the biggest thing about it. Like, do you want smaller or do you not want smaller? So this is going from a 6.3 on the Pixel 7 to a 6.16. That's a pretty big difference in my opinion. Like, I think it's a noticeable difference. Anytime you go over a 0.1 inch, it's going to look different on your display. So we'll look to see if people like it more. I think it's getting closer to that one-handed feature that a lot of people say they want, but if sales go to show by, the more middle of the road, anywhere between 6.4 and 6.7, I would say are the top selling smartphones. So we'll see if people really do have a hunger for it. It might be one of the best smaller screen devices out in the market when it comes out. So I'm very curious to see what people will think. I would be apprehensive though to say upgrade my daughter from the Pixel 6 she currently has to the Pixel 8, simply because it's going to be a smaller screen and she might not like that. So that might be something I would be kind of wary of. In terms of the 8 Pro, we are going to be getting the same kind of display, so same 6.7. However, it does look like it's going to have something similar to a LiDAR scanner like the iPhone and Samsung devices have, or I don't think it's going to be a time of flight sensor. Those have kind of been played out and weren't as good. So I think that if they will do an additional sensor, it will be a LiDAR type of sensor on there. There is also supposed to be improved night sight, which is already the top tier when it comes to Pixel, and video unblur. I'm guessing what this means is, though it's using the bigger sensor, it's going to try to focus everything instead of creating that natural bokeh effect. Quite frankly, I like that bokeh effect more, but to each their own. If you want to go with that, hey, go with it. But those are the only updates we expect so far. I'm curious to see what other things we're going to get. In terms of the looks, I think it's very generational leap from the last one. Not too much of a difference. I'm more curious to see what colors we're going to get. But yeah, it looks like, yes, this is what I expected to see. It's a little bit more in the middle than towards the left now. It's not on your left anymore. So we'll see how that goes, but it looks like a very slight difference year over year, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and are you a fan of getting back smaller screen Androids, or do you like the bigger the better screen? Let me know in the comment section. All right, now this one is one that a lot of people are excited for. You know me, I'm always apprehensive about something that's not going to be available in the US, which at this point we don't know if it will be. But what this is the latest phone that is coming out from Xiaomi. You can kind of see it really tight in there that it is a Xiaomi device. And the whole thing about this is, for the first time in a long time since the S4 Zoom, to bring back a camera smartphone. Now, this looks very different though from what we're getting with the past phones. The past phones were created like that to have zoom. We have gotten able to, through telescopic technology, to get a 5x zoom without increasing the size of the phone. You know, it's just basically what the current Samsung phones are able to do is go in and out, up and down, instead of going in and out that way like the older fashion phones like this S4 Zoom did back in the day. But the thing that I will say is that this one looks like it's going to have replaceable lenses. Now, I get both sides of this story, right? Like, so if I had a phone like this, right? If I had a phone like this and I have to carry around lenses, what is really the point? Why don't I just carry this camera, which is going to have a better sensor than this smartphone? And this is going to take better overall photos, more than likely too, just because of the years upon years of refinement. So this will most likely do better than that one. Well, here's the thing. If that is so, but you still have to carry around lenses, that is a big question. Like, why not have something? What I would say the compromise would be something more like the S4 Zoom had, which is something like this, where you have a lens built in that gives you a little bit maybe more zoom, but really what it's all about is having a much bigger sensor and lens in comparison. So this sensor would be the same 1-inch sensor inside of this camera phone actually. But if it had a lens built in that is a much bigger lens than these little lenses right here, it does allow for overall better image quality. Now, not only that, but the big problem with this is I can take this, and this is a great vlogging tool. I absolutely love it for that purpose. But where I have started getting this less and less and using this more and more is because this Sony and this Sony have the same sensor built in. This lens is better, so overall this one should be a bit better at it. But this is connected to Android and connected to the internet, which means I can immediately upload it to all social media that I want right from the get-go. And that in itself is worth it. And that's why these are about to exist again, is because I think we're getting to the point where they're going to play around with it. I don't think there's going to be oh, this is the perfect way to do it. This is a first attempt, and this is going to be one where you can add the lenses to this one, and I do not think it will do that well because of what I said earlier. If I'm gonna carry lenses, the quality difference is enough where I should carry this one, or even the one I'm using right now, the A7C, instead of this. It's like it's not as worth it, right? But if I didn't have to carry additional lenses, and you make this phone a modern day version of this one, that I think would be more desirable than what Xiaomi is about to release. Let me know what you guys think. I like the idea of add-on lenses in these professional kind of phones that have Android built into it, being more with cameras. I just don't see it better than maybe a solution like this, where it has the lens built into it and Android on the back, full touchscreen on the back, and yeah, let me add it. That would be the bigger thing for it in terms of it. So yeah, that's my thought process about it. And again, this is for obviously more for content creators first and foremost, obviously, because you're not like the everyday person isn't going to carry this around. Just like the everyday person isn't going to carry a fold around, right? This is thicker. If you look at this thickness, this is even thicker than this. Now, this does have a cage around it and all that kind of stuff, but you know, you have to think about that. Like, this is pocketable. This is totally and completely pocketable, and this has an attachment that makes it a little bit thicker, so I can attach things to it. But even so, this is still pocketable. You need to make something pocketable for sure, but you need to be able to make it worthwhile. Like, it has to be that much better for than this one will be, right? It has to be that much better than this in order for someone to get it. So I'd be down. I'd be totally down, but I don't think attachment lenses are the answer, quite frankly. But let me know your guys' thoughts. All right, now on to AI. I feel like this year is gonna get more and more topics about AI every single week, and these are some big ones actually. I am expecting more on this actually at Google I/O in a month's time, or less than a month now. So here's the thing about this. Google's AI is about to really take off. So Bard is in the trial system right now. Nothing too fancy about it. Nothing, all this kind of stuff, right? But the thing I will say about it is that it's going to get more integrated so it can learn a lot faster. And it's hoping that all this learning at this kind of speed will improve it far beyond ChatGPT, which is ahead right now in a lot of aspects. I have tried to use both Bard and ChatGPT, and ChatGPT just seems better off. I will say Bard still is what Google Assistant does best, which is more natural sounding about how it uses its words. But overall, ChatGPT just is more thorough right now. But here you go. So, the thing about Google search is it's about to get an update with Magi. And what this is basically the first step in its thing that it needs to do, because Google is worried right now. Google is worried about this. Samsung smartphones are considering going to Bing for their default search because of ChatGPT. And, rather than Samsung develop their own AI, they're just like, well, we could just use Bing's ChatGPT built in. And if we get ChatGPT on our phone, is that a great sellable feature for people to choose a Samsung over another Android or even over an iPhone? That is the premise here. And quite frankly, I am very curious if this would happen because of the fact that I still don't like Bing. I don't like Bing. I really I'm not interested in Bing. The search function is not good even with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is great for conversations, but yeah, not really interested too much for that reason. So what Google is trying to do is it's going to try to use Magi to enhance Google search with AI so that it gives you not only more natural answers, but better answers, and better answers than really what we've been seeing with the problem with a lot of search engines like Bing is that they just bring up Wikipedia, and sometimes Google does that as well. But the answer is so generic. If it were to give a more natural answer, I think it would be a lot more appealing. And I feel that's what Magi is going to do for their search category. However, there are two more aspects to this. The first big one is going to be Jiffy. So Jiffy is going to create images for you. And we've already seen a version of this in presentations if you are looking at basically Google Slides. So in Google Slides, you can essentially have a picture made for you. So you can tell it something like a miniature magical garden, and it will create something for you in that vein. So that is really cool. It's obviously the top one in that run right now is, oh my god, I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name of it. Let's see. Midjourney. So Midjourney is the leader in that right now. They have since canceled their free version, and now you have to pay for it if you want to use it. But the whole idea behind this is that it would make Google Images a million times more useful, because the biggest problem with using Google Images, right? So if I go online, I use Google Images. The biggest problem is always that half of the photos are Shutterstock, and you can't use those photos for a lot of different things. However, if you kind of just I want a concept version of the Galaxy S23, and it gives you it, it's very interesting what will happen there. So it's very curious, especially because Google is, by far the most searched and user database ever. I don't care what TikTok says. They are so far ahead of everything. that it's really big for them. Now, the other thing I will say is that it plans on also having a search along chatbot, which is what you get with Bing right now. So if you do go to Bing, and you use Bing, right? I think you have to sign in to use it. But basically, you can actually, instead of going to here, you can basically do a chat up here. So there you go. So you have to sign in to do it, but basically you can start a chat specifically with it. So it won't let me do it because I'm not signed in. But if you do that, you can start chatting with it, and that is what it plans on doing, is having a chat function. Now, not only is it planning on having that to Google's regular search, but it's also planning on having that in Chrome itself, which is going to be crazy because of schools. The minute you have a chatbot in a Chromebook, I have a feeling that's going to be banned in schools because it's way too, like, how do you know students will ever do their work again? Like, honestly, it is so easy to cheat in that aspect, and you won't get caught. Like, it's too good for that. It's too good to have it at your fingertips. Like, think about that. If you have a chat bot, you can literally copy and paste a question from an exam into the chatbot. It gives you the answer and you're done. Like, it could even show its work. Like, it's just too good to not be banned. I have a feeling if this is not banned immediately in schools from Chromebooks, it will be later. Like, it's way too tempting. I don't see how that wouldn't, like, flip school on its head if they don't ban that. They have to ban that from Chromebooks, or else, I mean, school would have just gotten completely as easy as can be with that. That's insane. And by the way, I've kind of asked my daughter, friends, and other friends that have kids around the teen age. ChatGPT is not well known in that age group, it seems like, at least as of not yet. So it's very curious to see if something like this would come to students and then just, oh man, that would be something. Yeah. All right. Now, not going to get into the political aspect of it. Of course, we don't like to talk about politics here. Save that for Twitter. Parler just got bought out and taken offline, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, all those save those for those internet services. What I will say though is this is a very, very interesting aspect of the whole thing about the TikTok ban. Montana has become the first state to ban it, which is interesting from a technological standpoint, because how can you really ban it? Right? Like, if you use a VPN, couldn't that make it so that it's irrelevant? That in lies, by the way, why a lot of people, I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but why a lot of people are really, really, really against the federal ban of TikTok is because of the bill which it's in basically outlaws VPNs, which is horrible. Like, that is horrible in my opinion. It has a lot to do about privacy and all this kind of stuff and everything like that. You can read about it, do your own research for it. But that is I don't care about TikTok. If TikTok's gaining information about me, or if Facebook is gaining information on me, or Twitter is gaining information on me, Instagram's gaining information on me, Google's gaining information on me, Apple's gaining information on me, I don't care who does it. Like, I really don't. But where I will say that I'm more worried about, the Restrict Act is the name of the act in a federal system, but it really is the only thing that makes me nervous. I don't care about the TikTok ban. If it gets banned, great. I don't have to put it on another platform. That's how I see it, how it affects me, quite frankly. But what I do see a problem with it is banning VPNs. That is it's very scary, and it doesn't specifically say VPN. What it's basically referring to is you cannot mask or protect or basically you cannot trick it from being yourself in another area from where it is there. So that is just like it's legalese enough to where it can easily ban VPNs, which as a person that I know all the stuff you can hide with a VPN and I know the stuff you can't, it is just such a big thing that I wouldn't want to happen. So we'll see. Some person says cash is king. I think that is why TikTok won't get banned. I think whatever side of the forum you're on to in an election year, it does not make sense to ban it. But to each their own and all that kind of stuff and everything like that. Political stuff, you guys can discuss elsewhere. But that's just what I wanted to say and let you know about that. It's fascinating that a state has passed it because of the fact, and this is different from the Restrict Act, which is the federal bill that's being proposed to ban TikTok as one of the things about it. But what's more interesting is like, how can this be enforced, really? So yeah, that's my opinion on it. But yeah, go for it and research everything about it you want to. But that's just my opinion on the act itself happening and how it can be enforced, and also what will happen in the federal version of it. All right, next one is one that I was so surprised about that I just had to give them props for it. LG's Wing, the last phone that LG released and the one that I had debated buying many times over, but never did because I was like, why am I going to buy this? Why? It just got Android 13. That is pretty cool. That is like legit really cool that it just got the latest version of Android. And, it came out in 2020. That's 3 years ago. It might be on its last leg, but that's just really, really cool. It's something that, man, I really like the idea of this getting it. And I'm not going to lie, probably after this video, I might look it up again and see how much it costs just to see about buying it again, because I think it's a really, really awesome device. And yeah, it's so cool for that purpose. All right. But yeah, that is the news today, guys. Went on a little bit longer on some of those topics, but I just wanted to make sure you guys understood everything. And now we're going to get to your questions. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. I was just trying to think. So LG Wing was the last LG flagship. What was the last HTC flagship that really came out? Because there has been other HTCs that have continued to come out, right? They've continued to come out over the years. But I don't know what the last HTC flagship is. The best HTC phone you can buy right now. The Desire Pro. That's right. They went kind of mid-range for a while. Like, I don't know. The HTC Desire 22 Pro apparently was the last best one. I wonder what kind of specs this had. Oof. Got a very bad rating. Yeah, I guess because the Desire series was never the top end, right? At the lowest price, it was $389, 8 gigs of RAM for T-Mobile. Qualcomm 695. It's a little while back for sure. Not a bad battery, not a bad camera. Decent. But yeah, so that was the last one, huh? Yeah, I think LG landed rightfully so for a little bit longer. All right, let's get to your guys' questions now. And again, if you have any questions you want to ask, just ask them in the comment section down below, and I'll answer them before the end of the show. All right. Pixel Fold sounds fire. I am so here for the Pixel Fold. While I'm not I'm at the point where I don't think I would get the Galaxy Fold 5 at this point. Maybe I might get the new Galaxy Fold Tab, but I don't think I'm going to get the Galaxy Fold 5 at this point over my Galaxy Fold 4. What I would consider definitely getting is the Pixel Fold. I would get that so quick. That sounds like fire to me for a device. Is the Fold 5 getting a bigger screen for the main? As of right now, it does not look like it. Everything is pointing to no, that it will not get a bigger screen. Not happy about it, but that's what it looks like. Rudy Can Game ended up getting the NV2-in-1 15.6. Didn't you tell me you wanted a 14 or under, or I just assumed that because of the lightweight? I could have assumed it because of the lightweight, but I'm glad you're happy with it, Rudy. That phone is too bulky. That phone is for YouTubers. Yeah, no, the whole thing about a camera phone is for sure like it's for photographers and influencers. I couldn't see a regular person doing it just in case they wanted to like, oh, like my camera is better than yours, so I'm gonna take all the photos here. You just like unless you're one of those people. Yeah, I definitely think it's more for content creators or something like that. Mirrorless camera phone. Yeah, exactly. That's essentially what that phone, the Xiaomi phone, is going to be. Last thing I need is the AI model. AI content creator. I mean, there's so many things of that, like people doing AI YouTube channels right now. It's so interesting. Making Google sweat a little bit with ChatGPT. They for sure are. That is a thing right now, for sure. Maybe student specific only ones allowed. Yeah, I cannot see that software going to students because, like I said, that would be too dangerous. If a chat bot is built into Chromebooks, that is just too dangerous for any kind of test taking. Like I don't. It's just it would be bad. Maybe it's just the kind of student I was, but yeah. Oh man, that would be so dangerous. Yeah, it'd be interesting if it gets Chromebooks. Let's see. LG Wing, wow, yeah. Can LG fly? No, it can't. It took a nosedive. U13, I feel like yeah, it was the HTC One series, then the U series. So there was the U20, but no, even that one wasn't a really big powerhouse. Or wait, yeah, the U20 wasn't really. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing. It's been a while since HTC had that really, really flagship level. Oh, they're great shows though. It's from HTC One. I mean, the HTC One was like the. How many HTC Ones were there? I forget. But yeah. The Velvet 2 Pro. I don't even remember there being a Velvet 2 Pro. I remember there being an LG Velvet. I don't even remember LG Velvet 2 coming out. Like, I remember the LG Velvet 5G. Did it not come to the US? Is that why? Maybe it didn't come to the US from what it seems like. But yeah, that had the Snapdragon 888. And yeah, it was in certain overseas markets, but it don't look like I don't think it came to the US, it seems like. But yeah. POLED display, Snapdragon 888. Should I have gone for a Chromebook? Chromebooks you can do less than you can with a Windows. However, in comparison, a Chromebook will get you a lot longer battery life. I'm not sure the exact model you went with in order to because obviously that's a series. HP NV 2-in-1s are a series, so I'm not sure which exact model that you got. I can kind of tell you more, but if you send me the specs, I don't know if you can send me a link. But if not, I could do that later, kind of thing like that. All right. As always, what do you think? Yeah, that was last. My wife is watching the stream, and she was wondering what's your background behind you. So that is a bunch of I think you would call them acrylics, but basically they are backgrounds that I bought online, and I have them in two spots. So I have the wall against me, and then I have another corner over here that has it. If you watch like my video from earlier today that got posted, go ahead and check it out. Like it, watch the video all the way through. The watch time really helps. Um, Basically, what those do is they just stick to the wall. They can damage your wall, so depending on the adhesive you get, I tended to go with a kind of clear adhesive like this. That did pretty well at not damaging too much. But yeah, with I got them on Amazon. If you just look on Amazon and search backdrops or 3D backdrops, you'll see a lot of these kind. Let's see. Okay, maybe not. 3D wall panels, maybe 3D wall panels. Let's try that. 3D wall panels. Yeah, there you go. So you can see 3D wall panels. Basically, in terms of it, you can kind of see. Oops. Dang it. Sorry, my thing is a little bit off, so it's not showing you all the way to the right of my display. But you can kind of see. This is similar to the one I got. But yeah, lots of different wall panels you can kind of get to make something pretty funky, pretty cool, and all that kind of stuff. There's so many different styles. It's just on what you're looking for. For a while, I was going to go this route. But yeah, I just kind of liked the one I end up getting because it refracts light so well in so many different angles that it just really did a good job, I feel like. So yeah, that's the one. Something like this was the one I got. All right. Which is your preferred charging only cable? Which is your preferred charging only cable juice blocker? So my preferred charger, I really have a lot of them. I really did fall in love with all of the Anchor ones that I got. So like that is my go-to ones for let's see. So Anchor charger. So there's a lot of different ones. This one is the one at the 150. They have 150 now. The one that I really end up liking was one like this, but nope. It's like this, just bigger. There you go. So this is one that like kind of goes everywhere with me. Now when I travel, like this is the go-to one. Just because simply it's 120 watts, so it can go up to 120. So charging my laptop, no problem. So that was really big, and that's why you can kind of see that icon for a laptop right there. Plus my smartphone, plus whatever electronics I go with. So this is kind of like the go-to. However, there are lots of different ones that I could recommend. So there are ones that I would say, let's see, dual. There are some brands that I really do like. Ugreen is one of them. So like this one right here would be one that I would consider. Sure. And it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for smaller or more power, because like this is smaller, but oh, Sorry, I just realized I'm not showing you guys. So like this is smaller, but then you could also go with one that's a 65 watt that is going to be more powerful. So there's lots of different things you can go with that aspect of it. So yeah, U Green is one that I kind of like. Another one, if I go to Newegg, they have one from Rav Power that's always really good. That I typically get. They have like usually two 30 watts for like $20, and that's 2 packs, so you get two of them. So those are really good deals. But yeah, there's just so many different ones out there. See, I like this one more so just because it's 65 watt, and that's really good. This is another brand that I kind of like because I love their cables themselves. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. But so this is U Green for a 40 watt, right? 45 watt. So 45 watt. Or if you want a 65 watt, this can charge a smaller laptop, like a 13.3-inch laptop, as well as everything else. And it's on sale right now for 2 more hours. So this is a really good time to get that one. 65 watt. So you have there. But yeah, there's some of them that I would just kind of, really go with. It just kind of depends on what you're looking for overall. But yeah, let me know if you guys are looking for anything else. All right. Verizon charges 25 a month for 5K protection on anything. Books down, Chromebooks down. Yeah, notes away, Chromebooks off. Well, but what if you're taking your tests on a Chromebook? Because that is a thing right now in schools. Like, you take your tests on a Chromebook. If they did an episode on... Oh, they did an episode of South Park on chat. It was hysterical. The boys were using it for texting their girlfriends. Oh, man. I would love to see that one. I haven't seen South Park in so long. I used to love it too. It's been too long. 15.6 tablet charger. I'm guessing you mean the laptop, really, because 15.6. I don't know if a tablet did that. Like, even if it's like a Surface style, that would still be a laptop charger. So more than likely, you want 100 watt or 120 watt. Which the first Anchor one I sent is the 120 watt. That will do it. But I would say you're looking for 100 watt USB charger. So yeah. And again, there's so many out there, guys, and it really depends on what you're looking for. Like, say this one, right? This one is bigger, but it's a lot cheaper than the one I sent you because it's older. So it's bigger though, so like know that going in, like this is a bigger charging brick, but you're still going to get 100 watts out to charge any like 13.5 14 inch, or even it will charge some 15 inches, but some 15 inches aren't going to fully charge. So depending on how you're using it, it might drain quicker. If you're using like a lower power CPU and GPU in there, then it will go in there. So this is 100 watt. And that would be good. And that one's really inexpensive for $52.49. Really good price. It's just a little bit bigger than the one I sent earlier that was 120 watts. So yeah, just depends on what you're looking for. But yeah, that's kind of... Amazon Basics now has their own one. I would be wary of that one. Certain things on Amazon are good, certain things aren't. Oh, this is another one that I actually would recommend. I've had one or two of these, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, there you go. Yeah, so 100 watt, PD 20 watt here, and PD 13. So really good one, very small and compact. I actually recently took this on a weekend trip, not too long ago, and this is another good one for around the same price. So this one $8 off right now, so it's gonna be 48. So another 100 watt one. I would actually probably get this one over the second Anchor one that I got. But the first Anker one, I will say, if you need 120 watt, that one is going to be a bit better, obviously, for that aspect. All right, let's see. Let's see. T-Mobile's in's too expensive. Let's see. Oh, I meant cables that don't transmit. Remember you mentioning it years ago. Like you need, like when you need to charge. Oh, it's not that. I don't know if they make a USB that charges but doesn't transfer. At least not off the top of my head. Because I get it, you're worried about the charging stations that are being talked about because they can do something bad. Basically, if a hacker basically can download a tiny file into one of those USB charging stations and basically infect everyone that plugs it in. By the way, so just to clarify that too, what they're saying no to is don't use one without a power brick. With the power brick, you're actually okay in that sense, as long as you be careful about where you put your phone down, because it could have an NFC one too. But what they're saying is don't use a cable only. So don't use something like just a cable, because if you plug this into that station, it could effectively be hacked and your device could effectively be hacked. But I don't know like there's ones that will charge faster and transfer a lot slower, but I don't know if you could stop USB. I don't think that USB charging only. Let's see. There you go. Now, of course, the thing I would be afraid of is if this is legit, because obviously this could be another thing that, if Amazon isn't watching their stuff properly, it could, stop it. Oh, these are kind of cool. Protect against juice jacking. So this is an adapter that basically blocks data from being transferred. So yeah, something like this. I would ask my friend, oh god, what's her name? She has a really great YouTube channel that always talks about oh geez. It just talks about all this kind of stuff. I will post it in the chat later. She's awesome. She's really cool. She is far into the hack protection more than me. I'm trying to find this her channel. I know she just posted like yesterday about the whole about the bill I was talking about earlier. But yeah, I just don't know if I can find her. I subscribe to way too many YouTubes. Yeah, I might not be able to find her in time. Just subscribe to too many YouTubes. Oh, wait, there you go. So Shannon Morris. She has 100K followers. Let me put, whoop. Whoop. I would say go ahead and follow her. Hit her up on social media. She would know about these. I will actually reach out to her about this kind of thing. Just because I feel like she would definitely know more about it than me. And if I would trust anyone's judgment on it, like she would for sure. But yeah, these are a couple of the different ones. It, I would imagine they do what they say, but just be careful with it. So this one is the red data blocker one. This one, another data blocker. But again, I would just, yeah, just be very curious to make sure that it's. I will ping her and ask her about this. Star Tech is a brand that I really do like and trust. So this one I would definitely recommend if you're looking for a cable, USB Type C to USB A. USB C to A. This one I would really recommend more for it, just because yeah, the StarTech is a really good brand that I trust. So that one I was probably, if I were to choose one right now that I would recommend to someone, this is probably the one I would recommend. And yeah, I'm gonna save her right there just to ask her. Let's see. Best AI obviously is 51st date questions. Yes, of course. This AI knows if you and the person you are with are compatible or not, or on a first date with, if you're compatible, or if you should just stop the date immediately. Use the first date questions. It's an app that it's a game that I created a while back. You ask them a question, they ask you a question on a first date, and you find out if you're compatible, if you're meant to be or not. 51st date questions. Links in the description down below for that, and definitely recommend going ahead and checking those out. But yeah, let's see. Just buy a power bank. Yeah, actually, I've been on a little thing lately on power banks. So I'm gonna be bringing a video soon. But I've been finding some really cool, nifty power banks that are very small and compact. The kind you could fit like inside of a jacket or something like that. But really, really great and fast charging, because that's the biggest thing that I always argue with people about. Oh, well, I just want, something that could fit in my wallet. And I'm like, okay, but it's not fast charging. So you're going to be connected there for a long time. Or I just want something that's huge or whatever. I'm like, okay, but then you're not going to be taking around with you. Like I have a power bank that's a 65-watt charge power bank. So really fast. That I take around with me in my backpack, but I'm not going to be carrying that on me. So my goal was to find one that I could literally take with me to events to fit in my pocket. This one I did for WrestleMania. So this one is from iWalk, and I'll be going over these in a future video. But this was one thing that I was just like myself trying to find the perfect one that I could recommend for someone either putting in their purse or in their pocket. And depending on how big you want to go, this is a 10,000 milliamp one. The most recent one I got is a 5,000 one. So basically fully charging my S23 Ultra to a full charge again. And that one I could fit in my pocket. So yeah, kind of the best parts for it. Buy even two. There you go. But yeah, I swear I will ask her. I'm so curious now. You know what? We're gonna live tweet her to see. Let's see. I am live tweeting her right now. All right, hey Snubs. So if you do follow me on Twitter or anything like that, you could literally just follow this. If she responds to it, then hey. Someone was asking about USB cables that don't transfer data. If I can type, well, that would be helpful. USB cables that don't transfer data. Like, who would know about this or could do a video on it. Oops. All right, so I'm messaging her live, so obviously she might not be able to answer it right away, but it's something that I think is just right up her alley. She is absolutely amazing when it comes to this kind of stuff. She's really cool. Hung out with her at a couple of events and all that, but like immediately when you said, oh, this kind of like, anti-hacking thing, she would be absolutely the one to kind of know about it. So follow her on her social medias if you haven't already, and here is her YouTube channel as well. So you can kind of go ahead and follow her there. And honestly, maybe she's already made a video on this because it's literally like her cool kind of niche that she does. But if not, maybe she might respond to that tweet. Maybe she might not. Who knows? But I definitely would recommend following her for knowing that kind of stuff. Like, she is so knowledgeable on this kind of stuff. So definitely I would recommend following her if you're not. But yeah, that is her YouTube channel. This segment called Ricky DMs Live. Hey, I will mess. I didn't even DM her. I tagged her in a tweet. But I probably could have DM'd her, but she's very cool. Definitely highly recommend following her stuff. And I guarantee you she would, if she hasn't done a video on this already, she probably can, because it's right up her alley. Again, these are some that I saw, but I don't know the brands that well, so I'd be a little iffy to recommend them. Star Tech I do know, and I do recommend them for that purpose. But yeah, this is definitely one thing I would leave more to her expertise than my own on this subject. But yeah. All right, guys, we are going to begin wrapping up soon. Let me know if you guys have any other questions you have to ask. Who will we DM next week? Stay tuned to find out. Hey, I can message some influencers that I know all the time every week. Keep it interesting. But yeah, always fun to I've gotten to meet. I would say over the past year or two specifically, I've gotten to meet a lot of fun people that I think are really cool, and I would love to work with them more and talk to them more and everything like that. I'm going to a Sony event actually this Wednesday, a little baseball game, so I'll be going over there, checking out DePoets, who's a really cool dude. Got to hang out with him at PAX and some of the other events before. So yeah, I'm gonna be going to San Diego, seeing how that goes. And yeah, just should have a lot of fun. Can't say enough cool things about just being able to do some of these one-off here and there. So always fun when it comes to that. But yeah, guys, so some stuff that's going to be coming this week. We have the Miko Android robot video coming up this week. We also have Eufy Security, their new security light, kind of talk about the elephants in the room with their stuff and everything like that. But yeah, all these kind of things going to be going over in that video. So those are two videos we have coming up. I also am going to try to make sure we do one last... I'm going to try to get the hidden features for the A54 video up for the new Samsung phone. So that'll be another one I hope to get up before the end of this week. If not, it could be next weekend. Have to wait and see. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, DePoets is a really cool dude. Very cool. Again, talked to him a couple times and everything like that. We hang around in similar sponsored circles, so yeah, it's always fun to see him around. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will catch you guys next week, and I definitely think that we will have more videos for you then. Thank you as always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.